Hey Zen fam, it's me. I'm back. Holiday's finished, so now I can green screen again. I can have my gameplay in the back. I can have my good mic. I can have thumbnails again. All the things that make the videos work. I can have proper descriptions and links and all that stuff that makes the channel seem like an actual channel and not just something thrown together by a 14-year-old. Anyway, before I persist with this video, I want to put out an extreme, massive shout out to Eliza, commonly known as Twitter as at capital NYO capital EI, so Noi, I think. You are awesome. You are the reason this video exists. You're also one of the things that makes the Zembloke franchise part of what it is. You retweet and like so much of what I do. You watch a whole bunch of the videos. You are a constant and true member of the Zen fam. And for your honoured service to what I do, I'd like to propose this offer. I would like you to buy one of the t-shirts, probably the Zen Fam t-shirt or the logo t-shirt, but whatever one you really want. And because you have been so awesome to me and the channels and whatever else, I am willing to reimburse you a third of the cost of the t-shirt. So hit me up in like a DM or something and we'll set up some sort of PayPal or something. Obviously I'll need to see you wearing the t-shirt in the DM, so I know that you've got it. I mean, I love you, but I've got to make sure stuff happens. So you'll totally get all tweeted about that, and as well you'll be an even more famous member of the Zen fam. But yeah, if you want to buy a t-shirt, I will quite happily reimburse you a third of your costs, because I care about my audience and I love it when my audience cares about me, and I want to share that love. Anyway, on to the subject matter. So, in Pennsylvania, back in October or something, a senator by the name of Christopher Quinn decided to put forward a House Bill 109. This House Bill 109 was meant to put a 10% tax, otherwise known as the sin tax. Ooh, lovely little title, right? And the proceeds from this sin tax, this 10%, were to go on the Digital Protection for School Safety account. He's thinking of the children. But wait, there's a sting in the tail. Actually, there's quite a lot of sting in the tail. Okay? You want to know where this 10% tax is being put? It's being put on violent video games, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yeah! And here's the kicker. He stated, right, that he, right, cited a study from the National Center for Health Research Studies that violent video games, cause aggressive thoughts, both long and short term. Funny, because just the other day that I put out a video from the Oxford Internet Institute saying quite the opposite. In fact, over the last few years, I have seen a great number of studies from various bodies, both in Europe and North America, in fact even a couple from Australasia, that debunk this notion that violent video games have anything to do with aggressive thoughts or behavioural patterns. This idea is nonsense, bunkum, hogwash, utter keek, as we say here in Scotland. Alright? It is a nonsense. It is a distraction. That is what it is. It is political manoeuvring to get you talking about something else other than the horrible things a lot of our sneaky, slimy politicians get up to. Okay? But here's the kicker, right? So, Christopher Quinn. Republican Christopher Quinn. Important to remember that, I think. So, this Republican Christopher Quinn, right, during a study on dark money and the NRA in the state of Pennsylvania, where Senator Quinn is from, it was found in a document on this HD-168, I think it is, where it's alleged that Senator Quinn was proven to have voted for, not against, for a gas pipeline, a volatile gas pipeline to run behind a local school. So much for your, Lovejoy-esque, won't somebody think of the children? Won't somebody think of the children? Global safety for school. Digital protection for safety for school account. Gas line behind a school. Seems a bit of a clash there, isn't there, Chrissy boy? Could you perhaps be trying to distract us from some of your other less than savoury activities, sir? I think so. Let's get right down to this, shall we? What you're proposing here is basically a form of backdoor censorship, pal. Alright? You want to put a 10% price hike on games, right? That basically means a $60 game in North America will end up costing 70 quid. Oh, sorry, $70. Right? That would basically be like us having to pay, if it was the same on us, we'd end up paying like near enough 55 quid a game. When we pay about 50 quid on average for a AAA first party game. Alright? Because that's roughly the cost. There's some games lower, some games high, but that's the main middle ground, 50 quid. Right? 60 is what it is in North America. Obviously then there's sales tax and blah 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 blah. But at the first hand of it, it's $60. Eventually goes up after, taxes, and let's face it, America's got taxes up the wazoo. Thank you, so we. Anyway, so after sales tax, blah blah blah, then there'd be a further 10% for people from Pennsylvania. Now, this is going to do something else. Apart from the fact that people then wouldn't end up buying their games in Pennsylvania, they'd ship them from across the country and get them in that way and probably avoid it, and therefore using stuff like Amazon and then GameStop would die even further in Pennsylvania that bit faster, because people would be prepared to put up yet another 10% on what they're already paying. The fact of the matter is, this has been tried before. They've tried to make the demon out of heavy metal. Now, you guys know I'm a metal guy, right? And we've all seen the metal cases and how metal was demonised in the 1980s, and all the cases were basically thrown out of court because they were all absolute rubbish, right? And this goes back further and further and further. I mean, when Edgar Allan Poe wrote Quoth the Raven, it was seen as a horror story, and it was advised not to read this because you'll have psychological damage from the terror of this horror. Now it's just seen as a quaint little poem that's actually kind of neat to read out at like Halloween, and the Simpsons have made fun of it. I mean, we've all seen that Treehouse special. It's fantastic, where Bart says, "Oh yeah, like when you watch Friday the 13th Part Now, and it's like actually kind of tame by today's standards, and that was in the 90s." Okay, please. I mean, hell, Mozart. Okay, Mozart got in trouble when he had his first live performance of the magic flute. Alright? The magic flute. Classical music. Right? Back then, it was a sight to riot. Ah! That's people in power. That's what they do. They want to distract us from what they're up to. Like gas pipelines around the back of schools. Like oil pipelines going across, native lands. Like all kinds of horrible things that, really greasy politicians want to do. It's like they want to stop, things, they want to put fear against the Green New Deal, I mean, Alexander Ocasio-Cortez wants to, have us not kill ourselves in the next 15 years to have us have a livable planet. And yet, the right-wing media in the States is basically going, oh, this is socialism. They equate socialism with communism. Hello, is there a brain in there? Socialism and communism are two wildly different concepts. Okay? And the fact of the matter is, you get this Green New Deal going, right? You're basically doing things like changing the power network, you're advancing science and technology, so there's research and development money going on, right? And then you're building an infrastructure for this new power network, you're building infrastructure for hyperloops and high-speed rail. You know what that is? That's jobs. That means there's actually more jobs going around. But they can't have that, because then there's more jobs. So then they can't have a fight for jobs. So then they can't go, immigrants are coming and taking your jobs when there's less jobs about to have. So then they haven't got their, the immigrants are evil because they're coming for your jobs. They took our jobs, like South Park. Okay? If there's more jobs about, think about that, Never mind the fact that, by now we should be, having robots doing so much stuff, and, we should be having, an ability for us all to have a bit of money from the government, so we don't have to work as much, so we can actually have fun with our families and that. We've reached a point with our technology. We should be able to have a bit more leisure time and still have the same amount of money in our pocket, so we can, go and do things. Actually live lives and not just work ourselves into an early grave. And maybe get a bit of gaming in. But here's the thing, right? They want to do this backdoor censorship, but then they also want to say that, games cause violence. This is rubbish. Absolute, complete and utter codswallop. Okay? I'm a gamer, right? I'm 44. I'm a father. I'm a full-time worker. Okay? I pay my taxes. I look after my family. I look after my customers. I'm just an average bloke. Okay? And most gamers, that's what they are. Average people just trying to get by. Okay? And you want to knacker this for us. You want to know what I do with games, right? I de-stress. Sometimes I have an awful day at work, and these games, what I can do, I can come in, turn on something like The Division, run around the streets of New York and take out bad guys, right? And I don't want to do people harm. I've never wanted to do people harm. But this de-stresses me. This gets all the anger and aggression that is in my system out of my system. I've taken it out on the game. It's a safe release valve. It's not a means for me to cause harm to others. It's not a murder simulator, okay? Like when Watch Dogs was doing the rounds, the last two Watch Dogs games, every time the Watch Dogs games come out, somebody goes, oh, that's just a hacking simulator, teaching people how to hack the system. What? No, Disney. Hacking, you have to learn about code, you have to learn about advanced electronics, not connecting a few lines of light on a screen with a joypad, so then it links up some systems, so then it opens a door, so then you can kill a few blokes. That's not hacking. Hacking is complex. takes a long time to learn. That's why there's not a lot of hackers, because it's a deep skill set. It takes time to learn. It's like learning an actual language. It's that kind of level of knowledge, okay? Murder simulator, seriously. Have you ever fired a gun? I have. I've fired a shotgun. I've gone clay pigeon shooting. Trust me, the experience of firing a shotgun in real life and firing a shotgun in a video game, honest to God, it couldn't be more different. Alright? It's like the difference between, I don't know, walking on the street and, I don't know, being a fish and being able to breathe oxygenated water. It's that different, okay? It's that different. They are not equatable. It is apples and oranges. They are not the same in any way, shape or form. They are not merge simulators, okay? They are enjoyment. They're interactive enjoyment, okay? And because you can't get your head around this, it's no fault of ours, okay? You're just looking for another demon. Like Bill Hicks said, they're always after a demon. There's got to be an enemy, you know? They try to do it with metal. They try to do it with, you know, horror movies, you know, and they try to do it with pornography. Humans are your problem, okay? When you get right down to it, as advanced as we are with all our technology and mathematics and physics and electronics and artificial intelligence and whatever else you care to mention, when you get right down to it, we're still pretty much the same scared, aggressive, angry, you know, flight or fight creatures we were back when we were living in caves and stuff. Okay, we're not as advanced as we'd like to think we are. We are more advanced, but not half as much as what we'd like to think we are. It's just a fact. It's just an absolute fact, okay? So, yeah, I just have to live with that, alright? It's just so frustrating. Why do we have to keep making these videos? Why do we have to keep telling the world we are not the enemy, we are not the problem, okay? It's like they want to stop school shootings by putting attacks on video games. Really? How about less guns? How about this? Okay? Because you always get your people go, hey, you want to do something about gun control. That's about eventually taking all the guns away from us hard-working Americans that want our guns, blah, 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 for our Second Amendment right. Okay. Have your guns. Have all the guns you want. But let's do what, like, Richard Pryor said. Remember Richard Pryor? Awesome stand-up comedian? He said, okay, have all the guns you want, but make every bullet cost $1,000. Every bullet costs $1,000. There's a concept for you. So every bullet costs $1,000. That means if you want to shoot someone, you've really got to think about it. So that means if someone's going out and they're buying a whole bunch of ammunition, you know, that's going to show up somewhere. And the fact of the matter is, there does need to be better checks on guns. We've seen countless videos where basically, you know, there are paper records that are not kept as well as they could be. There's very few digital records. The law is flouted continuously. It's all just all kinds of messed up. So yeah, it's distraction, it's demonization, it's backdoor censorship. It's all about control. Control over what you like and how you like to do things. That's all it ever is. It's all about control and distraction, because they don't want you to see what they're up to. We see it all the time. We see it when, you know, when the Americans took down Gaddafi. You know, they took down Gaddafi for freedom and regime change. You know, when they took him down, they could have taken him down any point in the previous 25 years. We all knew that Gaddafi was a bad guy. He'd been a bad guy for a really, really, really long time. Hurting his people and all the rest of it. We all knew this. Nobody's denying the fact that he was a bad bloke doing bad stuff. But we left him alone for decades and decades. However, you know when the Americans finally decided to take down Gaddafi? When he decided to stop using the US dollar as a trading currency? Yeah. And you know what now? See over there? You know what's come back? Slavery. So, yeah, when these politicians say half the stuff they say, most of it is complete and utter nonsense and distraction, because they want to distract you from the crap they're up to. And then the one thing that would keep us distracted, video games, they want to take away. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Any way you cut it. It's like, just let us have our games. Don't mess with that. It's like, you want to call us violent, but we're just not. Alright? In fact, if anything, gaming has been proven time and time again to be good for cognitive development. I.e. people think more. Okay? But you don't want thinking people. Like George Carlin said. Yeah, another great stand-up comedian. It's like politicians don't want a smart, informed populace. They want them just smart enough to work the machines, but not smart enough to know how badly they're being screwed every day. Okay? Now, this has been a wide-ranging video. That admittedly, this is a gaming channel and I've talked about a gaming issue. But it is clear that this is a wide-stretching thing that touches on a great many concepts. And I'm sorry I've dragged so much politics into this, but I've also brought a bunch of truth. And I assume there's going to be a lot of commentary down below. But you know what? I welcome it. I welcome the debate. I welcome thought. I welcome the process. Because that's what we really need. We need critical thinking. Okay? Not rhetoric. Not, I believe this. Can you prove it? Now, admittedly, there's a lot of the things that I've said here I can't necessarily prove. But I've stated that. I've said allegedly, And there's some things that we do know, because the value of human nature. But of course, you'll have your say, and I'll have mine, and that's all fine and dandy. So, as always, please remember to rate, favourite, comment, share, and subscribe. Of course, as always, aye, nae bother.